Like, that feels so much better. If Jace is annoying against Affinity, is decent against these decks that like to go wide, I want a second one. Omesh says, I don't, but testing's the only way to know. Well, okay, help me out here, Overmaster. Then, if we still... I mean, what's wrong with having 6 walkers that enable the Emrakul? We can't have it all, Overmaster, and I always felt that that was a lot of that card. We seriously can't have it all, you know? Do we want this to be a 6-card package? Maybe it's supposed to be a 7-card package. You could argue that the brain package has been extended to 8 cards, by the way, because this card is best played when, what, we have these in. So you could argue that this is an 8-card package, and that this is only a 7-card package, Overmaster. You don't need to win fast versus Affinity. You just, yeah. I would never bring in the Wombo combo side of the Jace or Nahiri ultimate, but I would consider this. Well, you want me to run some Shatterstorms? We could. We could. We could. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to be super awesome against Affinity, you can run Shatterstorms. That's true. That's very true. That's very true. That is for truly true. Okay, so we're thinking of still jamming the Beck call against Affinity. And then I had 2 slots, and I was thinking 2 Jace, but we're kind of out of... Like, this is good, though. Us finally asking these questions of are we sure about our Walker sideboard plan is good. This is really good conversation because these are the hard decisions. This is the hard place. This is where, you know, this is where the deck's really going to be tested. Can we sideboard properly for these types of matches? This is where we will be tested. Just run Stony. Alright, Forno Raisin says, not sure how I feel about Cleek. A flash flying blocker is good to have. Taking their threat from hand is very good, especially when Affinity's top decks are awful. Okay. So, you're actually saying that we don't maybe need to consider doing a split on the Nahiris and adding an additional Jace. You're saying that Vendilion Click actually isn't horrendous against Affinity? You're saying that trying to trade it with one of the creatures and maybe pluck a card is fine? Okay. Okay. Really do like the Shatterstorm idea, though. Fracturing Gust. Kataki, maybe? The Kataki was getting answered by some of the same things that answer the brain, but I hear you. Or is just getting Gal Blasted, because they still leave those in. Sure, I can turn down. Is that better? Now it's too quiet for me, but there you go. It's a nice happy medium. Yeah, I don't mind turning the music down. Focus here is magic, indeed. Can't say for sure. Kataki in this conversation is better because he's tutorable. Much better? No worries, Eric. That's a little better? Good. Yeah. Now, in fairness, it's true. I only started asking this question as we started trying to do a sideboard plan for Affinity. Right. The fourth Nahiri was not in question to be switched into a Jace until we started thinking about a sideboard plan for Affinity. In fairness, though, against Dredge, I was also... Let's go back to... Real quick, we'll come back to this. Let's look at our new Dredge sideboard plan. See, Bird Brain for sideboarding for Dredge. This was another match where guess who came in? Oh, well, all of the Nahiris came in too. So like, I'm looking at this and I want to see if a second Jace makes it happier. the sideboarding plan. Because if it makes more than just the affinity sideboard plan, and I'm going to change my my tone there, Overmaster. Actually, we're going to run Ghost Quarters. We're thinking about switching those tech edges to Ghost Quarter. So, does the Jace make this matchup nicer as well? Because this was what we thought our sideboard plan was for Dredge. It's not looking too pretty. Yeah, we took out this because they seem to have a reasonable amount of affinity hate. So we took out like all of the split cards and the brains. I'm not interested in any of these cards. I mean, like, maybe the extra muddle should just be a second Jace Overmaster, because I haven't added any new tutor targets, have I? This extra muddle might just be that extra. This might just be want to be another Jace, and then we would do this in that matchup, and then we'd add a second Jace. Yeah, I mean, the muddle in the sideboard was kind of just filler, wasn't it? Yeah, the third muddle in the sideboard was kind of just filler. Argument for a man over Menelik. Possibly do a split. Dridgel says music's like inaudible now, though. Okay. Fair enough. How about now? It's 50-50. Nahiri exiles, but not always, and Jace helps. Right. Well, how about this? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Consistency is important for a combo deck, right, Overmaster? This package might be more successful and happy as a 7. 2 Jace, but 4 Nahiri, because I agree with you. I think Nahiri is the better Planeswalker for fetching up the Emrakul, period. Period. I'm done trying to say that necessarily, you know, like, but there are matchups where Jace is more handy. Not as a way to finish someone, but as a tool for drawing and a tool for, like, kind of slowing down your opponents that like to go wide. So if we just cut the random, like, the third metal was kind of like, I wasn't so sure about it, Overmaster. And I wasn't main decking, it was just chilling in the sideboard, you know? It's just chilling in the sideboard. Somebody said they have a Jace Architect of Thought I could borrow, so I'm gonna hang around for that. But that would be excellent to test it. Now this is against New Dredge. I've actually just completely gone transformational sideboard mode, as you can see. Talk to me, Overmaster. What do you think, friend? Is there anything weird by adding a second Jace to this deck? It feels like it's what the deck wants. It gives us more of this. So for grindy games, like, that's excellent. Why Emrakul over something else? You could get a Keranos. Yeah, I mean, like, Nahiri and Jace can ultimate for a Keranos. Brand Nizzle. Jace is to borrow. You think I should maybe consider as many as 3 Jace? I mean, I like Jace a lot. Why not something like Inkwell? The problem is Nahiri makes it go back to your hand, though. Thanks, Tweed. Okay, so we have some more Jaces we could test. We could test as many as 3. Alright, we'll cut the extra muddle. I'm not so sure about it anymore. Now here's something else to think about. So we're looking at the sideboard plan for the new dredge deck. Do we want to not run any muddles? Because all the muddle is really doing in this matchup is finding a Snapcaster or a Celestial Purge. That's kind of medium. Because you're not really wanting to aim this at... I mean, here's, in fairness, like the Remand does very little in this match too. Vendilion Click being a threat that dies is important in this match, actually, because you get to exile the bridges. I actually think we should reassess her. So the cards I'm not so sure about bringing in against this archetype are these. I think Remand does a nice job countering flashback lootings and also drawing us to our tools. So actually I would make the argument that although Muddle can find... Yeah, it's relevant that we have Vendilion Click to play and then it dies, so... You guys are still talking about Emmy? Okay. I guess for that reason I still like Remand. Although Muddle is nice because it also has the... I mean, it doesn't, like, trade as nicely with flashback lootings as Remand does, but this findings, purges, or snapcasters is relevant. That's true. Am I getting rid of Brain Beck combo? No. I think it's very awkward in the main deck because there are plenty of matchups where you just can't do this. The Dredge deck, it sometimes has really explosive draws, but there are some games that it takes a while to get going. No, we're doing sideboard plans, Kilowatt. No. The main board plan is Brain Beck, and then this is a sideboard plan. But we're considering a second or maybe even third Jace, thanks to our friend who's letting us borrow them. But I digress. Let's finish this sideboard plan. Did you just get here? We're doing sideboard plans right now, my friend. I think for that reason I still like Remand, because we're just trying to draw the Angers if we don't have them yet. So we're going to do that. I think Muddle's medium, because if the only card I'm grabbing is Purge, that's okay. It's still much better when we're doing the Bird Brain. It's like it lets us have access to extra Beck calls without actually having to run extra Beck calls. The same can be said for the ends. The same can be said for the one of Purge, the two of Weird Tears. I'm not insistent. I like it more. But yeah, I think this comes out because of the artifact hate. Yes. Okay, so let's go back to the Affinity sideboard plan now. There's a second Jace. I feel so much better about that sideboard plan. Why do you ask? I guess that's the question I would throw right back at you, friend. Why do you ask? What makes you so curious? And then we cut the third Muddle. It's not. I'm going to table this so I can focus, friend. I'm going to table